My name is Iyanu Samuel Omaboye, and I'm one of the founders of a company called Shotnerds Productions, Shotnerds. Director of photography and a director, so I switch in between. I love doing photography also. I started as a photographer and then moved into film. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Me and my partner started filming about in around 2016, mid 2016 thereabout. I think yeah, so we got our first camera, which was a 90D, yeah, a Canon 90D, and we used to pass it. We did not start the company then because we chose after uni we chose to just go in different directions. But yeah, so 2016, and then till now, so it's about 8 years, I believe. And I was like every other kid. I didn't want to be a filmmaker. I knew I loved telling stories. That was something that was part and parcel of me. It was there. I told stories a lot from a young age, which made me a bit of a liar in a sense. But it's just the stories I told that, yeah, they were imaginations. But I did want to be an automobile engineer. I wanted to make cars. Yeah. But I was also very good at communication and very good at talking and just writing in general. And it was like, based on financial constraints in the sense, it was like, what's the next best thing? What do you actually know how to do without any kind of struggle? And it was communication. So it was like, okay, cool, let's go in that direction. But it wasn't, let me go do film because I didn't do film in school. Yeah, I did communication, I did electronic media, so somewhat closer to journalism in a sense. Yeah. So I did that and business administration and management. Yeah. And well, after a while, I was like, when I got out of school, I think I came out for like 4 months and I was on scholarship. So I had like what, $1,500 left out of my scholarship money. And I was like, you know what, let me buy a camera. So I got a 90D. And I did that because my mom would always tell me like, you're good at this, you're good at communication, you have a good eye. So why don't you just do that instead of sitting down at home and trying to look for jobs in a communication firm? Yeah, so that's pretty much what I did. That's what got me. That was my step into like actually doing photography and film professionally. Yeah, that was the first step into it. So lowest points for me in my career so far, I think the thing about being a creative in Africa is that there's always going to be a low point. In fact, every year you probably have a low point, and the reason why I say that is because of the, let me even, like, let's use Kenya for instance, the lack of understanding between creatives and their clientele. The clientele in Africa generally does not understand fully. In some parts of Africa, let me not say Africa as a whole, in some parts of Africa do not understand fully the importance of videos to their businesses, of pictures to their businesses. So they would always not want to pay premium prices for the best kind of work. So it will be a constant. You lose out on a lot of jobs. I can't count the number of quotes I've sent out that I've not gotten responses on. But in terms of lowest points, I think lowest points would be in the sense of when the people you work with cheat you. That would be the lowest point. So personally, I've lost what, over 1.2 million after working. Hell, I've traveled out of the country, worked, and came back and didn't get paid. Yeah, there's also a situation where my house got broken into, all my equipment was taken. That I was working on something for a client, so everything was taken, hard drives. I lost about 600K worth of equipment that day. And I remember sitting I remember sitting down. It took about like maybe like 5 seconds or 10 seconds thereabout. And I was just like, pardon my French. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, and after that I was just like, you know what? Nah, let's keep going. Because to be honest, it gave me a different kind of push. Because I think it's very easy to want to give up. It's very easy to try and start something, and because you're not getting the kind of results you want immediately, you want to jump ship. It's very easy to be in that kind of situation. But in my experience, I find that every day you take a step, every day you do something, every day you push yourself, you get to a different height. And look, it takes time. For some people it happens like this. For others it takes years before they can create that thing that is like mind-blowing. Like for instance, I'd ask you, have you ever heard of Iyana? No, you probably haven't. But Iyana has created a lot of things. And that's the thing. I'd also say don't focus too much on the fame, on the, oh, do people know me and this, and is is your work good? Because if your work is good, at some point, people will know you. You don't have to sell yourself anymore. Your work would sell itself. And I think that was the thing for me. And I believing in the fact that I was good at this. Let's see, a moment where I was like, Mom, I made it. I think that was 2023. Never won an award in terms of like filmmaking or photography. I've never really cared about it, to be honest. So we worked on this project, the 48-hour film, and we made this film called These Are the Moments to Die For. And honestly, when we did it, it wasn't, we didn't do it because we thought we were going to, we hoped we would win an award, but we honestly, we didn't really care if we won or not. It was just like, let's do it. Let's see if we can make a film in 48 hours, right? And we did. And I think when we got called and told that, yo, oh yeah, by the way, you guys won. And it's like, we're like, what? We won? And I remember going for the award night because I was like, there's no way I'm missing this. I've never won an award in my life. Okay, no, I have won awards. Let me not say I've never, but like in terms of film, Anderson, I've never cared for it. But this time I got the feeling of like, okay, this is new for me, right? And even though it wasn't on the biggest screens, it was something that was known worldwide, right? And I think I remember that night there were 12 awards. We took 8. Yeah, and we went. I remember being there, and I was like, I left the hall. I called my mom, and I was like, "You remember the film I told you we were doing? We actually won an award." Now, my mom is not the most, whoa, oh my God, but it's a family thing. Even I am not like that. But she was like, "Wow, okay, congratulations!" And I was like, that was like, I guess one of my most distant moments because I was like, I'm good at what I do, and a lot of people have told me I'm good at what I do. I know I've seen what I do, and I'm very critical about my own work, so I consistently try to improve on what I do. I know when I make a mistake, and having won an award like that, it felt great. I think that was a mama I've made it moment. There were moments where the first time I got like, oh, I got paid a shitload of money, but this was a mama I made it moment. It was an award. It wasn't money, but it was an award. It's like my film actually went past how many other themes and it won. And yeah, for me, that was like a mama I made it moment. The one film that I'd probably be like, okay, this I loved working on it because it was a documentary I worked on in 2023. It's called Born into Climate Change. Actually, oh my God, no, maybe there's 2. Wait, okay, so there's a film I'm working on presently. It's called Fathers in Madare, and it really touches on a story that a lot of people ignore. Right now, there's a lot of conversation about women and children. That's where the focus really is. But then this story focuses on single fathers in the slum. And I think we've been shooting it for the past 3 years. And I think it's been one of the most challenging and mind-boggling stories I've ever had to shoot. And I really love it. But it's great. It's not out yet. We're still in the process of shooting. But the one that is out presently that I know I worked on and I was really happy about it. The outcome is Born into Climate Change. Basically, it touched on people who were born into this climate change. Right now the climate is all over the place presently. And it basically touched on youths that were born into the situation, into the present world, into the way the world is right now. And yeah, I think that is one of my favorite projects presently. Yeah.
You actually shoot that Sunday. You said the current project that you're working on about single fathers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's something I've never heard before.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard. So of course that would be something that would be very, very much interesting to know.
Yeah.
So where can you see content?
So we have our website, which is shotnerds.com. The shotnerds is like a shot. Yeah, not short. So it's shotnerds.com, basically. Yeah, and you can check for our content there. You can also check the same name on YouTube. You see our content there. We're not big posters. We're trying to change and become better. and be better on social media. we're not big, we're not very good at that, but we're trying to be better, or at least get someone to do it for us. But yeah, shotnerds also on Instagram, on Twitter. Yeah, pretty much. So presently in Africa, I think there's been a huge shift in many countries of, because like you said, I did mention that the African film industry right now is getting very westernized, and we're facing the same problem that a lot of the world, Hollywood, mostly, especially Hollywood, is facing right now, which is very, very bad stories, right? There's zero concentration on the story right now, and more concentration on the visuals and what it looks like. Oh, let's just churn out, this, and that takes away from the relatability of a lot of stories, and also, you know, the ability for people to connect to it. But if I go back to like talking about the Nigerian movies of old, even Kenyan series and movies of old, where it was like Tahiti High, for instance. Tahiti High was amazing, right? It was so, because everybody wanted to come home and watch it, especially day students. You wanted to come home and watch Tahiti High because you could relate to it. It was a Kenyan story. If I look at Nigerian stories, a lot of Nigerian films really touched on the history of Nigeria and the way Nigeria was at the time, which was good. And right now, to be frank, if I'm being really honest, some of the movies I'm seeing that are coming out here in Kenya and even in Nigeria, I see a lot of progress being made. I see a lot of people trying to incorporate the new technologies that exist to us. Obviously, we're not doing it that well, but the thing now that we're beginning to miss out on is the story, which, like I said, even Hollywood is facing that problem. Very few movies these days, it's easier. Like if you want to watch a movie with a proper story, you're better off watching old movies than watching recent movies right now. Because now I love action movies, but there's action movies that it's like there's things are forced to happen. They don't happen naturally. They don't happen. There's no feeling of like, okay, this happened, so it was a consequence of this. People force things to happen in movies. This, and it's very bad script writing. And I think that's one of our biggest problems right now. But in terms of our progress, in terms of our filmmaking, I think we're really growing as Africa. I think we're growing. Kenya is growing. Like I've seen some of the recent movies that have been brought out. Oh man, amazing! I saw one towards the end of last year. I think it's called Sketchy Africans. I wasn't set when we were watching because I was doing some BTS for one of the actresses. But watching the actual movie, it was amazing. It was very funny. It was a very simple story, but it was funny. Yeah, and the story was there. They were not forced to happen, but you get what was happening, right? And I think it's possible to create really amazing content in Africa. I think our films will get there if we are not too carried away by the Western world, I think. So you can reach out. You can reach out to us through our social media platforms. You can also reach out to us through our website. You can also subscribe to our website so you can, get newsletters and things and just updates about things that we're doing. Like I said, shotnerds.com. Again, let me spell it out. shotnerds.com. Yeah. We right now, what we're working on, like I said, we're not very great at social media, but we have a lot of information that we'd like to share with upcoming creatives and even creatives that have been there. And I talked about, and that's something that we're doing right now. So it's something that we're trying to create. Hopefully by end of February, we'll start dropping some of these things, and they're free. Honestly, it's just free information for you to learn. And obviously there's a ploy there. The ploy is to bring you guys to us and build a community around it. But yeah, it's still good information that would help you, even if you're not in the creative world. I think it would also help you because it still touches on business, on being a business person and how to approach it, and it touches on being a creative person. My goals for the year is to make more money. Honestly, that's a simple. I can tell you, I can go through, I can beat around the bush and tell you all the dreams and distance, but at the end of the day, the goal is for progress, and progress includes making more money, I guess. But I think the parting shot I'll make is, I think it would be look, I'm not going to say it's easy to get into the creative world. I'm not going to say it's easy to get your first camera. I don't think it is. I think everyone has their own journey, and I think it's very important to concentrate on your own journey, because It's very, social media does this thing where it puts a lot of pressure on you on where you need to be, on what other people are doing. And it's good to learn, but always remember your journey is your journey. What the person next to you is doing is none of your business. You can learn from them, but don't let the pressure get to you, because the pressure getting to you that's where you start making mistakes. Also, just like doctors think they're the only ones who have to keep reading, and learning about, as creatives, whatever job you're in, you have to consistently keep learning. You never stop learning. The only way you can make progress and become better is to just keep learning. From a 90D now, I've used the FX6. I'm on the FX3 now. I own an FX3 now, or we own my company owns an FX3, so which is good. I love that camera. Yeah. So yeah, like, and that's progress for us. It's taken a lot of time, but it's been progressive. There's always been progress, no matter how little it's been. There's always been progress, and I think that's very important. Cameras Africa, equipping storytellers. I guess they equipped me too. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.